Today, we're taking a slightly different approach to travel, counting down 10 countries where Americans might face some challenges. This isn't to say you can't visit these places entirely, but it's important to be aware of potential difficulties before you book your flight. Let's get down to it. Number 1. Iran. In 2018, the United States withdrew from the 2015 multilateral deal that had limited Iran's uranium enrichment program. This marked a significant turning point in the relationship between Iran and the United States. Once U.S. President Donald Trump's travel ban was implemented, which said that Iranian citizens were not permitted to visit the United States, the relations between the two countries were put to the test even more. According to the administration, this action was taken in order to maintain the security of the borders. Upon the assumption of office by President Joe Biden, there was the expectation that the agreement about the uranium enrichment program in 2015 may be reestablished. Nevertheless, this has not occurred, despite the fact that ties between the two countries are significantly better than they were a number of seasons ago. Due to the fact that Iran is providing support to Hamas in the Gaza war, and the United States is providing support to Israel, the levels of travel advisory for Iran have reached level 4. This indicates that Americans should avoid traveling to Iran because the United States is unable to assist those individuals who travel there and end up being subjected to arbitrary arrests, kidnapping, or even more severe threats. Number 2. Libya. Adjacent Sudan is located in North Africa and is the 4th largest country in the Arab world. And similar to its neighbor, it is not completely embraced by Americans. Traveling to Libya is not recommended due to the high volume of crime and violent extremist activity. There have been incidents of kidnappings targeting American citizens, and it is important to be aware that tourist locations such as malls, hotels, and airports can be areas of concern for terrorist activity. Foreigners may also encounter militia-controlled checkpoints and unlawful detention, as well as crimes of opportunity such as assault and robbery. Traveling in Libya can be quite unpredictable and discouraged due to the absence of a formal tourist industry. Number 3. North Korea. It's widely known that North Korea and the US have had a difficult relationship for a long time. The relationship grew more complicated when the US, South Korea, and Japan established a trilateral security cooperation to address potential tensions with North Korea or China. Currently, Americans are not allowed to enter North Korea, which has strained the relationship between the two countries. Individuals who unintentionally cross the border from South to North Korea are often detained indefinitely, with no knowledge of when or if they will regain their freedom. This incident occurred when an American soldier crossed the border without authorization. There is no embassy in North Korea, and there has never been one. Given the regime's reluctance to engage in negotiations for the release of imprisoned individuals, it is important to note that North Korea is a strict country where people are cautious about breaking the law. As a result, Americans who choose to enter North Korea do so at their own risk, despite the advisory from the US government. Number 4. Somalia. Regrettably, Somalia is currently experiencing ongoing conflict. International tourism may be impacted by the uncertainty, but there are still tour operators available to arrange excursions for you. They will offer you a guide, a driver, and armed security personnel. Although it is not advisable to plan a trip to Somalia at the moment, under different circumstances, it could be a beautiful vacation destination. There are many stunning beaches in the country, along with some awe-inspiring caves if you're interested in exploring. Number 5. Greece. Many young American tourists often behave in a way that some people may find inappropriate in public. This kind of behavior can be very disrespectful to Greek natives, especially in places that hold deep spiritual and cultural importance. It's important for partygoers to be aware of their surroundings and considerate of the local communities without implying that Americans are unwelcome. Many organizations have been established to educate travelers about proper etiquette while overseas, aiming to bridge the gap between the two cultures. Visitors can foster meaningful interaction between Americans and Greeks by connecting with locals and demonstrating a genuine interest in their culture and history. Number 6. Bhutan. Bhutan, a country nestled between India and China, can be a destination that some tourists may be interested in visiting. However, they may find themselves overwhelmed by the intricacies of entry. There is no embassy from the country in the United States. The only way to obtain a proper visa to enter the country is by going through a tour agency. The visa application is straightforward and easy to understand. However, going through a tour operator significantly restricts the number of visas available for individuals who want to enter. This unique policy, on the other hand, helps limit the number of visitors, ensuring a more exclusive and memorable experience for you. Number 7. Syria. In a world of historic cities and breathtaking scenery, a tragic civil war has made tourism impossible and caused immense destruction. Once a vibrant center of history and culture, the ongoing conflict in Syria has resulted in the destruction of numerous sites, including the UNESCO World Heritage City of Aleppo. May peace be restored to this lovely nation and its warm-hearted citizens. For a long time, getting a Syrian tourist visa was not possible, which meant that American citizens were completely prohibited from entering the country. However, things took a turn in 2023, yet the United States government remains firmly opposed to visiting. Syria faces numerous challenges, including internal conflicts, criminal activity, corruption, and economic struggles. It is important to be aware that the U.S. citizens may be at risk of kidnappings and illegal detentions, which can be very dangerous due to the prevalence of violence. The U.S. Embassy in Damascus has been non-operational since 2012, following the start of the Syrian civil war. Many citizens have chosen to leave the country in recent years, while Americans are strongly advised against traveling there. Number 8. Jordan. When compared to 2009, the United States' favorability ratings in Jordan have decreased by 13 points, leaving 85% of the population with a negative opinion of the country. Taking into consideration that Jordan is widely regarded as one of the United States' most reliable allies in the Middle East, and that the Jordanian government continues to officially support the United States, this is an especially peculiar occurrence. Many Jordanians continue to go to American target cities, attend universities, and even volunteer their time and money to assist diplomatic endeavors undertaken by the United States of America, despite the fact that there is a mismatch between the official stance of the government and the sentiments of the general public. The fact that this is the case implies that the relationship between the countries is more complicated than can be comprehended via the consideration of approval percentages. Number 9. Venezuela. Venezuela is a stunning country. Additionally, it is considered to be one of the least welcoming nations globally. Many Americans are choosing not to travel to Venezuela due to the high travel advisory level 4 issued by the government. Traveling to the country, even with a U.S. embassy present, carries inherent risks for Americans. Venezuela is widely recognized for its significant corruption and restricted civil liberties. Currently, it is regarded as an authoritarian state under the leadership of President Nicolas Maduro. The independent international fact-finding mission has uncovered numerous instances of human rights violations in Venezuela, such as forced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. Regrettably, American citizens are frequently detained by the regime's security forces and become victims of robberies, carjackings, and homicides. The Venezuelan government's corruption and inadequate infrastructure have resulted in a rise in criminal activity within the country. Furthermore, the country's economy was thrown into a tailspin due to the collapse of the economy when oil prices drastically fell. The tailspin led to hyperinflation, rendering citizens' money worthless, causing food shortages and resulting in shortages in medical care. Consequently, a large number of people have emigrated from Venezuela, seeking opportunities in neighboring countries. Number 10. Eritrea. Eritrea may not be as well known to Americans as some other countries on this list, but that doesn't mean it's any easier to visit. Another location with a significant amount of visa paperwork, which can be quite frustrating to navigate. In addition to the standard forms, you will need to submit proof of your flights, a bank statement demonstrating your financial capability, and a document explaining your purpose for the visit. It's like a letter where you explain why you want to visit and maybe mention someone you know there to try and convince officials that you have connections in the country. It seems that certain requirements are becoming less strict, so be on the lookout for any updates. Have you ever traveled to a country where Americans weren't exactly welcomed with open arms? What was your experience? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more insightful travel content.